Yo, what's up, Summoners? It's your boy TPG back at it again with another Battle Spirit Saga video. Excuse my voice if I'm a little nasally. I had nasal surgery this past week and I'm still recovering a little, but I finally got the splints and bandages out so I can talk to you guys now about a video I've been working on since we got our first XR reveal. And that is picking your color between the 4 base colors in set 1 and the starter decks. Now we do have green and blue coming out in set 2, and I will make another video when those XRs get revealed, and I'll give you a full spectrum. But for now, we're going to be picking our color between red, purple, white, and yellow. And I'm going to be breaking down what the cards do and like the general themes of each deck, as well as what you can expect by playing these colors, and help you decide which color you want to play for your first Battle Spirit Saga color or your main color. That being said, let's hop right into it. Before we talk about the first color, though, I do want to promote something a little bit. If you check out the links in the description down below, I do have other channels where you can see me elsewhere. And I have a Discord now that I've started, and I really want to start growing that community as well as maybe hosting tournaments in there for Battle Spirit Saga as well as Digimon and One Piece. So that being said, if you guys are interested in that or you want to see more of me, check out the links in the description down below. Let's get back to the colors. So we are here with our first color. Shout out to Cosmic Plays for giving me the starter deck preview so I can show you what to expect from each of these color starter decks, and then I'm going to go over the individual XRs as well. So the Dragon Onslaught for red focuses on the Star Dragon theme, with the key cards being Nebula Dragon Andromeda, as well as Galaxy Dragon Andrometos, which I think is actually better. And then Imperial Dragon Seagworm and Rain Needle are like the main cards in this deck, as well as Star Altar is a very strong Nexus, and Scorched Battlefield is also very strong. And this deck really focuses around just swarming Star Dragons to get the reduction off of Andrometos, because it allows you to count the reduction of each Star Dragon is 2. So you're going to be getting the more reduction often once Andrometos hits the field. So you just want to do classic red things with Swarm and Beatdown style, as well as utilizing the keyword Confront, which forces your opponent to block if they are able to. Awaken is also a sub-theme in this deck, which allows you to move your cores around with a flash timing, which is very good. These are the 4 XRs for red that we're going to be looking at. 1 from the starter deck, 1 from the main set, and then 3 from the main set, excuse me. So we have Nebula Dragon Andromeda, which is the one from the starter deck. What Andromeda does is he does Confront, and then you get to destroy BP spirits and nexuses. Pretty generic red stuff, just destruction plus Confront, which is a very strong keyword. We have the cover boy, Seagworm Nova. So Seagworm Nova has a send, cost 6 or more, which is an additional summoning cost to place all cores from one of your spirits that cost 6 or more into your reserve. So it's sort of like a sacrifice of sorts. He does have Awaken, and then he has Wind Summon to send, and then he has when he attacks, select any number of spirits with a combined total of 10,000 or fewer and destroy them. Seagworm also, after ascending, if you can place the soul core into the void, and your life, you go up to 5 life, which helps you. Giganorex has a skill that counts each of the pterosaurs or emperor beasts as 2 symbols for reduction. So he's potentially a 2 cost. So he's an 8 cost with 6 reduction, which means with only 3 pterosaurs or emperor beasts on the field, he becomes a 2 cost, which is very good. And then if you have a Pterosaur or Emperor Beast, he's treated as level 3. He has Confront, and all your spirits get 3,000. So he's basically just a super cheap way to get a really big body on the field. And then that Confront ability is helping you reduce your opponent's board each turn. And yeah, just having him count as level 3 is also very nice, because you don't have to commit the cores to him to do that. And then you'll notice there's usually 1 XR in each of these sets that isn't really its own archetype, but rather it's sort of a supportive XR that both these decks are likely to play. For red, we have Storm Beast, Emperor, Thunder, Leon. So Thunder Leon is focused around wind summoning and destroying spirits, and not proccing their wind destroyed effects. But he also lets you draw a card when attacking, so it's sort of just like generic good card advantage. I don't know if it's really worth the 5 cores for just an 8k body with a draw card effect, But the Wind Summon effect is pretty nice to pop little bodies, especially because it's only a 5 cost with 2 reduction, which means he's only going to be a 3 cost most of the time, and he's going to be able to help you get those removing bodies is really, really important in this game, especially 2K or lower, because one of the strongest decks I think in the format is going to be the yellow 2 cost 2 reduction deck. And most of those bodies are about 2K, so it's a very good card there. Especially with side decks being a thing, this card is definitely a side deck card. Next we have Purple. Purple is the star deck is focused on core removal and reducing your opponent's core on their spirits to 0 or 1. Basically making them a level 1 at all times. And then also destroying your own creatures to destroy theirs is another sub-theme present within this Pendoc, the Call of the Curse sub-theme. Not too much else to say about the Purple Starter deck. It's probably the most consistent starter deck. I think it has a lot of tools that are definitely well utilized. As well as a lot of staples, right? It has Bloody Rain, Dark Grail, and Poison Shot. Core Drain's also pretty good. All of which are really good staples, I believe. For the XRs, we have Grand Underworld Trio Queen Maduke, Dark King Snake Pendacles, and then Infernal King Cursed Dragon and Dread Knight Nemesis. So for the Underworld Queen Maduke, it focuses around utilizing the curse keyword, which is sort of like retaliation in Digimon. So if one of your spirits dies, your opponent also dies. And then it also focuses on Blood Curse, which is the same thing, but it also affects your opponent's life. So yeah, it really just focuses around giving your creatures curse or your spirits curse, and then allowing them to really utilize those curses to burn your opponent, which is very nice. Pendacles again is focused on core removal. So you see its main effect here is it removes all but 1 core from a spirit and places them into the reserve. So when the spirit attacks, select one of your opponent's spirits, remove a core from it, put it in their trash. So you're basically just stripping your opponent's cores a lot, and that's the whole point. You'll see that the BP or the battle points on these creatures are somewhat low, but they don't really need to be high, right? Because you're removing those cores, and so your opponents are also going to have quite low power levels. For Infernal King Cursed Dragon, we have it removes a core from each spirit and places them into the reserve. And then you get to place a core from the void onto the spirit, which is really nice because it helps you get a pseudo ramp. And then when it attacks, you get to select a spirit, remove all cores from it but 1. So this is sort of another one to help with Pendacles. But Infernal King Cursed Dragon is basically just like a better Pendacles. The only difference is he only goes up to level 2. He does not have a level 3. So take that how you will. But you can definitely... This one will definitely be the splashed one, I believe. I think it's going to sort of be used in probably Pendacles for sure. But I don't know if it'll actually be used in the other two. I think Pendacles will actually probably be used more so than Cursed Dragon. Actually, probably not, because the level 2 effect of Cursed Dragon is just better than the level 2 and 3 effect of Pendacles. So it depends on cost curve, right? If Cursed Dragon's an 8 with 3 reduction, so they might not play it over Pendacles' 7 3 reduction, but it's going to be up to the builder for sure. Next, we have Dread Knight Nemesis, focused on the Shadow sub-theme. So when it attacks, you get it focuses on popping your own creatures or your own spirits and then doing things with that. So right, you get to pop one of your spirits, select the following effect, place up to 2 cores from into the reserve, so really good ramp effect. And that's when attacking, so that's very strong. He also has a really high attack threshold, which is good. Or draw 2 cards. And then when destroyed, your opponent selects one of their spirits and destroys it. So you'll notice a lot of the cards in purple have a when destroyed effect, and Nemesis actually lets you proc those, which is very nice. So with purple, you have like a curse sub-theme to punish your opponent for blocking. And then you have like a core removal sub-theme, which allows you to just control the amount of cores your opponent is keeping on their creatures. And then you have like a sacrificial sub-theme with the shadows. So take that how you will. Next we have white. So white is it is focused on like board control and like mechs through blocking. At least the starter deck is. Right, so we have cards that allow you to that give you protection with like the armor keyword against certain colors, as well as effects that proc when you block. and do other things of that nature, as well as just having really strong nexuses and magic cards to reinforce that sub theme of like strong defense. You also have cards that allow you to use your win blocking effects as when attacking effects as sort of like a finisher. Specifically, Buffalong Bill is a very card, right? It's a very good card that allows you to do that because cards like the boss monster, the elk, it has a win blocking effect to trash an opponent's life, as well as you get to restand it and block again with it, which is very good. So that would become a win attacking effect, which is very strong. For the Xars here, we have the Elk, which I already somewhat talked about. It allows you to, when it blocks, trash a spirit as well, or trash a life of your opponents, and then it also allows you to restand it. Excuse me, it's the end of opponent's turn. If they did not lose a life, you trash it. But it can't be deleted by opponent's destruction effects, and it can't have its course removed. But it allows you to restand itself to block again. Excuse me, so I got those two effects mixed up a little. It's two separate effects, but it allows you to do that. And then we have Dual Gun Mechlord Drim Dyna. So this is our mecha sub-theme, right? So you get to pay a soul core, select a white spirit for each nexus, either play controls. The selected spirit can't be blocked during this turn, so it gives you a really cool finish, right? Because it's a 7 cost with 4 reduction, allowing it to be a 3 cost total. And you basically get if the game's been going on a long time, like, okay, now all my creatures are unblockable, GG. It's very cool. And then during the attack step, when the spirit would be destroyed by your opponent's effect, you may pay a core to keep it on the field refreshed. Very good protection. I definitely think Derm Dyna is going to be one of the best cards in the set. Now the other two are weird because they both seem very supportive, but also like the Turbo Rex could almost be its own deck, and I definitely think there's gonna be like a super big like protection based deck, maybe with the Armored Dragon Enterprise, but we'll see. So Dinosaur Harrier Turbo Rex is a machine beast. Again, it has Ascend, which we talked about earlier. And you get a goad a creature, so you get to force one of your opponent's creatures to attack during that turn. They have to, which is really interesting. I love goad effects. Eximon's one of my favorite Digimon decks, and in Magic and Commander, I play a lot of goad decks because I think it's a very strong mechanic. And in Battle Spirits, even better. Like this Harrier Turbo Rex is going to pair so well with the Fanatec Elk because you have to attack with your X key card, right? And Fanatec Elk's 10k. Okay, cool, I'll block it. GG? Okay, it's so strong. The problem is it's a 6 cost 3 reduction, right? So it's 3 cost to slam plus the core you're going to need to make it at least level 1. And then Fanatec Elk's going to be like a 4 cost plus the core. So it's going to be like a late game move for sure. But and then when it attacks, you get to choose an opponent's creature that does not have Ascend and bounce it to their hand. And bouncing is very good in this game because there's nothing they can really do about it, and they sort of just like fizzle pretty hard. Bouncing is really good. Makes your opponent burn out really quick. So Armored Dragon Ship Enterprise is a 8 cost with 4 reduction, super big cost at 4, but it has so much power. It's a level 1 6,000. For 2 cores it's 9,000, and for 4 it's 12,000. That is so big. And then get this. Level 1, 2, 3, armor red, purple, white. So it has armor against so what armor is it can't be selected by effects, nexuses, or magics of the specified color. So the only color that can currently affect it is yellow, which sucks because yellow is actually white's biggest counterplay. But having protection against that red, purple, and white is super good. And that's level 1, 2, and 3. And then when it blocks, you get to refresh the spirit once per turn. So again, you get to multiple blocks, which is very good. And you're very big. And then at level 3, all of your spirits gain armor red, purple, and white. And trust me, you're going to want this guy to be at level 3 most of the time because it is a 12k body, which is very large. So having that armor for against most things is really cool. So like Dynarex, like Harrier Turbo Rex, I actually have faith will probably be like its own, like it'll probably be in all of these decks as well as its own deck. And then Enterprise I think is actually gonna be like a really good side card Or it'll probably be a main card that you side out into yellow because it doesn't do anything against yellow, but against like purple and red, I definitely see it being very strong. So like to resum up these the white creatures spirits, we have the sort of blocking based deck with Fanatec Elk. We have the mecha based super strong finisher with dual gun Mechlord Drim Dyna. We have this sort of goad based deck with Harrier Turbo Rex, and then Armored Dragonship Enterprise is going to be a supportive piece or just a very defensive option. All right, moving on to yellow, we have the yellow star deck, which focuses on having 2 costs with 2 reduction, or just 2 cost creatures, right? So we have you'll see most of these creatures are like, we have our 3 cost with 1 reduction, making them 2 cost. We have Almirage, which is a 4 cost 2 reduction, so it's a 2 cost. Sword Angel, which is a 2 cost already, but it has 2 reduction, which is very nice. Axe Angel, which is a 2 cost, 2 cost. Like you see all these cards that can be 2 cost, with the exception of Chain Angel. But Chain Angel is one of our main cards, and that's sort of the focus of this deck is looping these sort of 2 cost creatures over and over, which spirits, which is really nice. And then we have very powerful nexuses such as the Soap Bubble Lakeside, which helps support us in a lot of different ways. And then our 6 cost 3 reduction is the Calamity Pegasaurus, which again buffs those 2 cost creatures. So if you're familiar with like the rookie rush strategy from Digimon, you're going to be wanting to play the 2 cost Fabled Beast archetype from yellow, which is going to be this Calamity Beast Pegasaurus, which is the starter deck. It gives all your 2 cost your spirits some power, and then you get to refresh some 2 cost spirits, which is very strong. And then we have the Angel something with Archangel Michaela, Michaela. Again, only goes up to level 2. It has a win summon effect to reveal a card from your deck for each yellow spirit or nexus you control, and then add all the magic cards. And then if it has a soul core on it, you get to use magic cards for your hand without paying their cost, which is absolutely crazy. Very strong. This deck is basically just going to be focused on spamming magics and controlling your opponent with that. God Beast Behemoth is support for the Fabled or the Fabled Beast stuff with the 2 costs. It is a 6 reduction, 8 cost, making it a 2 cost. And any spirit, I believe that costs 2 grants 2 symbols. And then it gives protection for those 2 cost spirits, which is very the 2 cost spirit that are level 2 or higher, which is very, very nice, giving protection to those little guys who are going to need that sort of protection and those buffs. And then we have Alice, who is an Otherlander. Very interesting card. It has it's sort of focused on reducing the BP of your opponent, regardless of how many cores they have on it. So this is similar to the standard yellow play style from Digimon, and not necessarily One Piece. One Piece is more focused around recovery, it seems so far. So this sort of focuses on reducing the BP so what Alice does is when it attacks, you get to reduce an opponent's spirit by 1,000 for each spirit you control, which is very good. But then also during either attack step, if you control 3 or more spirits, when it would be destroyed, you get to place a core from the void onto it to keep it on the battlefield exhausted instead, which is really nice because not only is it ramp, it's also protection via ramp, which is super interesting. So the God Beast Behemoth is definitely going in the Pegasaurus deck, and it's just going to be more support for that deck. Michaela is sort of its own archetype of just magic spam. And then Alice, while it could be its own deck, I actually think because of the recovery and ramp skill, it's most likely just going to be a staple yellow card that's going to be in most decks. So if you're looking for a rush style playstyle, I would go with Calamity Beast Pegasaurus and the God Beast Behemoth archetype, which is the starter deck focused around 2 cost 2 reduction, or 2 cost creatures. And if you're looking for a sort of magic spam control play style, definitely go with Michaela to get that filtration as well as using the magics without paying their cost, which is going to be very helpful. And then Alice, you could probably play it in its own deck, but it's most likely just going to be best in a sort of staple slot for most of these yellow decks. Alright guys, that is the video. Hopefully I helped you make an informed decision of which Battle Spirit Saga deck you want to start building first or main in Battle Spirit Saga Set 1 and the starter decks. And if you like the videos like this that are informative and give you a lot of information on the decks, please let me know and show your support. Again, check out those links in the description down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Bye.